What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the Fearless Nick YouTube channel, and in today's video I'll be going through my AFL 2023 round 22 tips and predictions, and obviously as well as that, like we always do, I'm going to be going back over my round 21 tips from last week and seeing how I went. If you guys haven't already, make sure to leave a like, share and subscribe. They'll be very much appreciated. I'm on the road now to 500 subs and I'm trying to get there as soon as possible. So if you haven't clicked the big red subscribe button down below, make sure you go do that. It's completely free and you won't miss out on any future uploads. So yeah, be sure to click the big red subscribe button down below if you haven't already. But anyways, guys, without further ado, let's get straight on reviewing my round 21 tips from last week. So like always, ladies and gentlemen, we will quickly go back over my round 21 tips from last week. So looking back over my round 21 tips from last week, I got a pretty okay score. I got a score of 5 out of 9 for round number 21. It's a pretty average score. You know, my average for the year has sort of been about 6 out of 9. That's sort of the common score I've been getting. So yeah, 5 out of 9, you know, average score, but, you know, not my worst score either. But anyways, we will quickly go back over the games from last week, starting off on the Friday night. I tipped Richmond to beat the Bulldogs on Friday night at Marvel Stadium. I think it was pretty clear after quarter time that, you know, the Bulldogs were going to win this game. I don't know what I was thinking there. I guess a little bit of, you know, Richmond bias sort of kicked in there. The Dogs, they were far too good for Richmond in this game. Their contested game was just off the charts. They absolutely bullied Richmond, you know, around the ball and really just made us look like a VFL side. But yeah, I did tip Richmond to get up over the Bulldogs at Marvel Stadium on the Friday night, so got that tip incorrect. Moving down now to Marvel Stadium, I tipped the Bombers to beat the Eagles, got that tip correct there, although, oh my god, Essendon very nearly lost this game, to be honest. I think West Coast kicked a goal with under like 2 minutes to go or something, you know, to get the lead back. Before Essendon, you know, quickly stole it back, you know, about a few seconds later. But yeah, I did tip Essendon to get up here over West Coast at Marvel Stadium, so got that tip correct. Moving down now to Adelaide Oval, and I tipped the Crows to beat the Suns. No problems here. The Crows, you know, I've always said with the Crows, you know, at Adelaide Oval, they're a very different side over there. But yeah, I did tip the Crows here to get up over the Suns at Adelaide Oval on the Saturday, so got that tip correct. Moving down now to the MCG, and I think it's fair to say this was probably one of the upsets of the season. Hawthorn somehow managed to upset Collingwood at the MCG by 32 points. Fair play to Hawthorn. I mean, that is probably, well, it's not probably, it is, you know, probably their best win of the season this year. Moving down now to GMHBA Stadium, I tipped Port Adelaide to beat Geelong. And again, you know, I thought this would be, you know, a little bit of an upset. I thought Port Adelaide would come out here and, you know, really make a bit of a statement away from the Adelaide Oval. But unfortunately for my sake, I was proven wrong, and the Cats, you know, albeit they didn't look amazing. You know, I know Port Adelaide did have a few injuries in this game as well, but Geelong, they didn't look amazing, but then again, they did enough to win, so fair play to them. But yeah, I did tip Port Adelaide here to get up over Geelong, so got that tip incorrect as well. Moving down now to Giants Stadium, I tipped the Giants to beat the Swans, and unfortunately for my sake, the Giants' winning streak finally comes to an end. I think after 7 straight wins, the Giants are finally defeated. But yeah, I did tip GWS here to get up over Sydney, so got that tip incorrect as well. And then moving down now to the Sunday matches, I tipped Melbourne to beat North Melbourne. No problems there. But yeah, I did tip Melbourne here to get up over North Melbourne at Blundstone Arena, so got that tip correct. Moving down now to Marvel Stadium, I tipped the Blues to beat the Saints. This game I was a little bit iffy on. I thought the Saints could pull off an upset, and you know, at half time, it was looking pretty likely that St Kilda were going to pull off that upset. But Carlton, obviously, you know, fair play to them as well. You know, that second half, they really took control of the game. And obviously, you know, in that last quarter, the Blues, I think they kept the Saints goalless in that last quarter. So, yeah, fair play to the Blues. They got a huge victory for their finals chances this year. So, yeah, I did get that tip correct there. And moving down now to the final game of the round, I tipped Brisbane to beat Freo. And geez, this was actually a very entertaining game to watch. It was pretty seesawing. One team would get a goal, then the other team would respond. It was that sort of free-flowing sort of game. But luckily for my sake, the Lions were able to pull off a victory here, so got that tip correct as well. So like I said, that brings me to a total of 5 out of 9. Like I said, not my best score, but then again, definitely not my worst score of the year. Those were my round 21 tips from last week. Now let's move on to my round 22 tips for this week. Alrighty, so here we are, ladies and gentlemen, round number 22. It all starts off on the Friday night between Collingwood and Geelong at the MCG at 7:50 bounce down time. I'll start off with Collingwood. Two disappointing performances the last couple of weeks. Against the Blues, I think they played half decently, but the Blues obviously outdid them. In the end, they just wanted the win more. And then obviously we all know last week, the Pies, they were completely outclassed by a very young and exciting and up-and-coming Hawthorn team who, haven't really, had much success this year, it's fair to say. Whereas Geelong, last week, I thought they were okay, but weren't, anything amazing. But I have said this now with a couple of teams, and I think Geelong, they almost fall into this category as well. They just know how to win. It may not be the most watchable footy sometimes, but, Geelong, they've got such a great culture down there at that club. They just know how to win. Look, I know I said it last week, and it didn't come off, but I think after last week, surely Collingwood have got to be pissed off after last week. Surely they've got to come out here and, really make a statement here in this game. I think I am going to tip Collingwood in this one. I just think, Geelong, I'm not sold on them yet. They've got a couple of big injuries like we know. Tom Hawkins, Mark Blitzarves, obviously the big two that are out for Geelong at the moment. So I think just because they want to, get a big win here, I think I am going to go the safe option here and tip Collingwood, but I would not be surprised if Geelong, pulled off an upset here. I think Collingwood will win this one, or it'll be a bit of a close one. Let's say Collingwood by... Let's go 1 goal. Let's go 6 points. Moving down now to Marvel Stadium, we've got North Melbourne taking on Essendon. North Melbourne, the first quarter against Melbourne, not bad footy from North. They were definitely, a lot more competitive than they have been, the last couple of weeks, the Roos. And Essendon, they're not really playing the most convincing footy right now, the Bombers. They're sort of on a knife's edge. They really scraped over the line against West Coast last week at home as well. Something's telling me this won't be a percentage booster for Essendon. I think North Melbourne are going to carry on, their half-decent form from last week and bring it into this week. I think this is actually a genuine 50-50. Because North Melbourne, obviously last time these two played off, North Melbourne were 1 goal away from the victory. So, I really don't know. I think this is actually a 50-50 game just because I can't really trust North Melbourne. And I think because Essendon will want to, come out here and really prove a point, to the rest of the competition that they are legitimately a finals-worthy side. I think I'm going to be tipping Essendon here. I think I'm going to go the safe option here and tip the Bombers. I just have a little bit more trust in them, but, the last couple of weeks, they really haven't been playing the best footy. I'm going to be tipping Essendon here to win this game here by, let's go Essendon to win this one here by 14 points. Moving down now to the SCG, and we've got Sydney taking on Gold Coast. Now, historically, Gold Coast in Sydney have not been that bad. I think the last couple of times they've played Sydney in Sydney, the Suns, they've actually gotten the job done. I think I remember last year when these two played off, when Sydney were in good form, Gold Coast pipped them. So it's not out of the possibility here. But from what I've seen, the Swans, they're playing with this new hunger and new desire, with a few players, coming back from injury, has really, boosted their confidence. And all of a sudden, they're back in amongst the pack, the Swans, so it just shows you, what a couple of wins can really do for your season. It only takes a couple of good performances to, really get yourselves back in the top 8 race this season. I think I'm going to go the safe option and tip Sydney to win this game here. I can't really see Gold Coast winning this game, especially considering the form they've been in. I don't know how many Gold Coast have lost in a row now, but I think they've lost at least the last 2. So, that doesn't really give me enough confidence here to tip Gold Coast. Sydney, they'll be a little bit too strong here for the Gold Coast Suns at the SCG. And I'm going to be tipping the Swans here to win this game here by, let's go 26 points in a bit of a comfortable win. Moving down now to the Gabba, we've got the Lions taking on the Crows. Now, the Lions, they were a little bit lucky, to be honest, against the Dockers. I thought Freo really fought hard and almost deserved the win because of how well they played. But obviously, Brisbane, they are the stronger side at the end of the day. And, they really needed to win that, the Lions, just to keep their top 2 chances alive. Whereas the Crows, they've been a little bit up and down. The Crows, they've had a couple of really good wins, but before that, they had a couple of, average sort of losses, albeit they were gallant in some of those losses as well. Look, I've said this since the start of the year. Brisbane at the Gabba, unstoppable. Simply unstoppable. There's no beating Brisbane at the Gabba. So with all that said, I think I am going to be tipping Brisbane here to win this game. I think they should be too strong here. The Lions, I think they are comfortably the better side than the Crows this year. And I'm going to be tipping Brisbane here to win this game by, let's go 32 points in a bit of a comfortable win as well. Moving down now to the MCG, and we've arguably got one of the games of the round. We've got Carlton taking on Melbourne at the MCG at 7:25 on the Saturday night. I'd arguably say this is the battle between the most informed sides in the competition right now. The Blues, I think they've won 7 in a row now, the Blues. I think they've won 7 in a row for the first time since 2000. Whereas the D's, it looks like they're finally, hitting their straps towards the end of this season. I think they've won, at least 4 or 5 in a row now. So, the D's, they're definitely starting to pick up a lot of wins now. I would love to go Carlton because they are in some absolutely ripping form at the moment. But the D's, on paper, are probably the better side, and they're also one of the fittest sides in the competition as well, the D's. But in saying that, the Blues have had some big results against some big contenders this year. They beat Collingwood, a couple of weeks ago now. They steamrolled Port Adelaide about a month ago. So it just proves that the Blues, they are not scared of these big, top 4 contending sides. I think I am going to tip the D's here to win this game, but I would not be surprised one bit if Carlton came out here and won this game, because the Blues are in some absolutely red-hot form. No discredit to the Blues. They are playing great footy at the moment, and I'm loving what the Blues are doing at the minute. But I just think Melbourne, they're more trustworthy, they're more mature, and I think they'll just want to, get the result here, the D's. I think I am going to tip the D's here to get up over the Blues here in this one. I think it'll be a very close game, but I think the D's, they'll get up here and win this game here. Let's go the D's to win this one by 2 points in a bit of a thriller. Moving down now to Optus Stadium, and we've got the Western Derby between West Coast and Freo. Now, the Dockers, they were pretty unlucky last week. They really could have beaten the Lions, They really put up a very gallant effort, but unfortunately just weren't good enough to get the chocolates on the day. Whereas West Coast, similar story with them. I mean, they were very gallant against the Bombers at Marvel Stadium. I don't think a lot of people were expecting it as well. I think a lot of people just assumed West Coast would just roll over and, Essendon would get a pretty comfortable, 40 or 50 point win. But fair play to West Coast. They actually showed a lot of fight while, still losing the game, just to make sure they're still the favourites for Harley Reid, I guess. I think the Dockers will come out and win this game. I think Freo will be too strong here in this game. And I think the Dockers, they're just the stronger and more classier side. And I think the Dockers, they'll get up and win this game here. In a bit of a close, tight tussle. It might be a bit low scoring, but I'm going to be tipping the Dockers here to win this game here by, I'll tip the Dockers to win this one here by 20 points. Moving down now to the Sunday matches, we have got Hawthorn taking on the Western Bulldogs at UTAS Stadium at 1:10 bounce down time. I'll start off with Hawthorn. Oh my God, they were impressive, Hawthorn. In fact, like I said, they were beyond impressive last week, the Hawks. They were truly, that was some of the best footy I've seen from the Hawks, probably since 2018, I'd say. I don't think I've seen a Hawthorn performance that good in a very, very long time. Whereas the Bulldogs, like I said, they were far too good for Richmond on Friday night. They completely bullied Richmond, around the ball, around the midfield, and really just exposed Richmond defensively as well. Really, the Dogs, they completely just exposed Richmond in majority of all areas, to be honest. There wasn't really a part of the ground where I thought Richmond were the better side in. The Dogs, they were just completely the better side from start to finish. But I think because they played so well last week, and because it's at UTAS and Hawthorn do actually play well in UTAS, you're not going to believe this, but I'm actually going to tip Hawthorn here to win this game. The Dogs, I know they were very good last week, but in Tassie, the Hawks coming off a very good win last week against the Pies. I don't know, I just got a feeling it might be bold, but I've got to take a risk at some point this week. So I'm going to make my upset of the week this week. I'm going to be tipping Hawthorn here to beat the Bulldogs in a bit of an upset, but I'm going to be tipping Hawthorn here to win this game here by, let's go 8 points. Moving down now to Marvel Stadium, we've got St Kilda taking on Richmond. Now, both these sides I thought were a little bit disappointing in a way. I think the Saints really bottled an opportunity last week to get up over the Blues. I think they had a pretty decent lead at half time. Whereas Richmond, oh my God, they were so frustrating last week, the Tigers. It wasn't even funny. You know what? Screw it. Richmond, they don't deserve my tip, so I'm going to be tipping St Kilda to win this game here. Just after last week, Richmond, they don't deserve my tip, so why should I tip them, It's at Marvel Stadium as well, so we play horrible footy at Marvel Stadium, and after last week, what confidence do I have, tipping my own side this week? I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of a response here in this game from Richmond. I don't expect us to, get rolled, albeit it wouldn't really shock me. I don't have any confidence tipping my own side here. So you know what? Screw it. I'm going to be tipping St Kilda here to win this game. And I'm going to be tipping St Kilda here to get up here over the Tigers. And I'm going to be tipping the Saints here to win this one here by, it'll be close-ish, but I'm going to say the Saints win this one here by, let's go 12 points. And the final game we have got of round number 22, we've got Port Adelaide taking on GWS. Now, I actually reckon this makes for a very, very good contest. Port Adelaide have lost their last 4 matches, which is very hard for me to believe, to be honest, because it was only a few weeks ago that they were on a 13-game winning streak, whereas the Giants, well, it was really, a blip in the radar last week against the Swans. I thought they really battled hard, though, the Giants. They definitely didn't go down without a fight. I'm actually torn here. I actually don't know who to go because the Giants are actually a pretty good side at Adelaide Oval, so I really don't know who to go here. Port Adelaide, they are horribly out of form, absolutely horribly out of form. They went from one of the form teams of the comp to arguably the team who is most out of form right now. Surely Port Adelaide here have got to come out and make a statement. They can't lose 5 in a row, surely. After winning 13 in a row, they can't lose 5 in a row here. I think I am going to be tipping Port Adelaide here to win this game. I just think they'll be too strong here for the Giants, albeit I think this will be a really good contest, but I think I am going to be tipping Port Adelaide here to win this game. And I'm going to be tipping Port Adelaide here to win this game. It'll be close, it'll be tight, it'll be high scoring, but I think Port Adelaide will win this game here by, let's go 16 points. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those were my round 22 tips for the 2023 AFL season. Let's quickly go back over them. I've tipped Port Adelaide to beat GWS. I've tipped St Kilda to beat Richmond. My upset of the week, I have tipped Hawthorn to beat the Bulldogs at UTAS Stadium. I've tipped Freo to get up over West Coast. I've tipped Melbourne to get up over Carlton, although not sure about this one. Comment below who you're tipping in this game down in the comments below. I've tipped Brisbane to beat Adelaide. I've tipped Sydney to beat Gold Coast. I've tipped Essendon to beat North Melbourne. And on the Friday night, I've tipped Collingwood to get up over Geelong at the MCG by 6 points. Those were my round 22 tips for this week. But before we go, as always, we are going to have a quick check on the Fearless Nick comp. So if you haven't joined my tipping comp yet, link will be down below in the description. If you want a chance to win a shout out from me at the end of the footy season, then click the link down below in the description so you don't miss out on that. But currently leading the Fearless Nick comp after 21 rounds, we've got Marie T, who is back on top of the ladder after I think it was down here. I think third or fourth is where he was. Like a couple of weeks ago, I'm not really sure, but yeah, we've got Marie T in first, Ben P in second, Shannon in third, we've got Max rounding out the top four, we've got Ned in fifth, Cooper L in sixth, we've got Claudia in seventh, I'm currently in eighth. Yeah, I guess I'll take it. I got a 5 this week, like I said, and I'm currently on 114 correct tips, so I guess that's all right. We've got Hugo in 9th, we've got Darcy T in 10th, we've got Samuel D in 11th, we've got Rick H in 12th, we've got Christian in 13th, and currently on the bottom of the ladder, as per usual, we've got Louis, who actually got a 6 this week though, and continues to close the margin on Christian, who is above him in 13th. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those were my tips for the 2023 AFL season for round number 22. And yeah, this is my comp ladder after 21 rounds. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those were my round 22 AFL tips for the 2023 AFL season. Like always, remember to comment down below your tips for this week. Comment down below who you're tipping, Carlton or Melbourne. I'd really like to know down below in the comments. What are some of your, your bold tips for this week? Remember to join my tipping comp. Link will be down below in the description, and I'll also leave the code to join down below in the description and the pinned comment as well. Make sure to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like I said, every like and every sub really means the world, as I'm trying to get to 500 subs as soon as possible. So yeah, make sure you hit the big red subscribe button down below if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.